Before we discuss the issue of Treasury market resilience, we can't ignore the larger threat to our country's economy. Whether it's indiscriminate tariffs or increasing the deficit to cut taxes for the wealthy, President Trump's economic policies are making Americans feel less and less confident about the economic future. We see this in consumer sentiment data. The Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index has fallen to its lowest level since January of 2021. The University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Survey for March had its lowest reading since November of 2022. And it's not just consumers that are feeling these effects. Businesses are tired of the chaos and the uncertainty. A survey conducted by the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas had one executive respond, "How can you do business planning with all the uncertainty and all the daily changes in the direction made by the Trump administration?" And the small business owners agree. A Harvard Business School study found that more than half of small and mid-sized business owners in the United States expect tariffs enacted by Trump and the Trump administration to increase their operating costs. More than 40% predicted that their sales would decline because of the tariffs. On Friday, Chairman Powell cautioned that these tariffs are significantly larger than expected, and the same is likely true for the effects which, quote, will include higher inflation and slower growth. And these tariffs won't just hurt the 62% of Americans who have exposure to the stock market. According to a recent analysis from a research center at Yale, these tariffs will cost the average U.S. household an estimated $3,800. Others have estimated that households could end up paying almost $8,000 more because of Trump's tariffs. This economic tsunami is going to hit working class and middle class Americans the hardest. So not only are these tariffs a tax on Americans, they are a textbook example of the kind of regressive tax that will be borne by most of the people who have the least. So how does this uncertainty affect our Treasury market? Not only is the Treasury market the deepest and most liquid market, but as former Secretary Janet Yellen put it, it is the very bedrock of the global financial system. The U.S. Treasury market is so important because investors have come to trust the stability and the credit of the United States. Yet, less than 80 days into his term, President Trump has shown he's willing to gamble away the stability by picking a trade fight with the rest of the world. A recent Bloomberg article warned that foreign investors may also lose interest in purchasing more treasuries due to President Trump's actions. So today we talk about what we can do to make our Treasury market more resilient. We can't lose sight of the biggest threat to our economy, the Trump tariffs. And this ongoing tumult makes the resilience of our Treasury market all the more important. Within the Treasury market, we should always be looking for ways to improve efficiency, resilience, and overall functionality. This includes looking at the supplemental leverage ratio, SLR, to make sure that the intermediaries are not disincentivized to hold low-risk assets like treasuries. And we must simultaneously make sure that the intermediaries remain well-capitalized to maintain the safety and soundness of our economy. Central clearing is another way we can strengthen our Treasury market and continue to mitigate risk. The SEC's effort to increase the number of Treasury markets transactions that are centrally cleared is laudable, and it is good to see that the market participants are committed to a collaborative approach to make sure that we reduce the risk in the Treasury market. I look forward to the discussion, and I yield back the balance of my time.